Good morning and welcome in on this Wednesday. It's Dan Hardenbrook. Glad to have you along as we take a look at your latest local news from around the region. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your Wednesday news headlines are brought to you by your three-time award-winning local newspaper of the year. It's the Newberry News. Let's check out this week's front page headlines. Too far gone. Newberry's track project has hit a major hurdle. You can rethink your drink and live a healthier lifestyle with an upcoming local event. How many waterfalls are actually in the UP? A beaver dam has changed Lake Angeline. One person is dead after a head-on collision on M28 last week. And don't miss Sterling McGinn's story on mugs serving up burgers at a historic Lakefield location. Those stories and more available inside this week's edition of your award-winning Newberry News. It's available now. In your latest local news this morning, Tahquamenon Area Schools will soon be in search of a new elementary principal. The district Board of Education approving the upcoming retirement of current kindergarten through sixth grade principal Kendra Feldhusen. The announcement of Feldhusen's intent to retire and the approval of accepting that retirement as part of Monday night's Tahquamenon Area Schools Board of Education meeting. Feldhusen will be moving on from the district later this school year. Her retirement will take effect on November 1st. New Superintendent Sean Tebow, overseeing her first meeting with the district, said there's already 2 or 3 applicants for the upcoming open position. Feldhusen's surprising retirement was just one of several staffing moves the Tahquamenon Area Schools Board of Education approved at their meeting earlier this week. The board voting to hire Jack Hetrick as the new kindergarten through sixth grade counselor. Hetrick will begin with TAS at the start of the upcoming 2025-2026 school year. Howard Bliss was hired as the Tahquamenon Area Schools District Transportation Director. That position previously was held by former Superintendent Stacy Price, retired from the district last month. Outside of staff hirings, property sales were the main topic of discussion at that meeting earlier this week. TAS School Board voting to sell off one property and list another under the ownership of TAS. The board voting to sell the old Bolio furniture store at the depot site on the corner of Parmalee and East John Street near the post office. That building had been donated to the district years ago by the Bolio family and had been used by former woodshop teachers for supply storage. The school rented the building to a former shop teacher a number of years ago until he recently vacated the property. With no need to keep the building, TAS decided to accept bids on the property with a minimum amount of $7,000. The board received 2 bids and voted to sell the building to Michael and Julie Terria. Plan to use the structure for a new business in town. The sale amount was $9,635. The board also discussed selling a piece of property that the district owns in Curtis. The building, a former church on Davis Street, not far from the Portage Township community offices, has not been active in a couple of years. The board voting to list that Curtis Church property for $50,000 with local real estate firms. To get a full recap of this past week's Tahquamenon Area Schools Board of Education meeting, check out Sterling McGinn's story in today's latest edition of the Newberry News. The Luce County Board of Commissioners recently making a major decision to dissolve the Parks and Recreation Board after multiple resignations. Recent issues have come up with the Luce County Parks and Recreation Department, which prompted county commissioners to dissolve the Parks and Recreation Board and its directors, merge the director position with the Government Building and Grounds Maintenance position at their most recent meeting. The Parks and Recreation Board had advertised for a new director following Ben Rahali's resignation last month. They say they received no interest. And in the meantime, both Luce County Park managers and one employee also left their positions. At the July 15th meeting, the county commissioners unanimously approved to move forward eliminating the Parks and Recreation Board. County Commissioner Anthony Kitzman was in favor of having the director work under 2 county commissioners rather than a full board. The commission has the authority to dissolve the board and have Parks and Recreation handled by a committee moving forward. The former Parks and Recreation Board had 7 members, with 2 of those being county commissioners. Parks and Recreation at the Luce County level oversees the maintenance and operation of the Luce County Park, Big Valley Tube and Ski Hill, the Barn Ice Rink, the Newberry baseball fields on Charles Road. Commission Chair Michelle Clark said that for the last 2 years, the Parks and Recreation Director hadn't brought new board members to the commissioners for approval, leaving the board in an illegal standing. Ultimately, the commissioners decided to have a 5-member advisory committee of those with a vested interest in Parks and Recreation in the county to still be able to participate in matters pertaining to the department. You can get more information by checking out today's latest edition of the Newberry News. Project Backpack in Newberry and Curtis is gearing up to provide school clothing and supplies for students in need again this school year. Currently, applications are available in the school offices at Three Lakes Academy, can be picked up from Tahquamenon Area Schools, the Newberry Department of Health and Human Services Office, St. Gregory's Catholic Church, or the Dunlap Ministry Center. Applications must be received by August 11th. You can return forms to the Department of Health and Human Services building or any local Project Backpack location. You can get more information available by visiting the Three Lakes Academy Facebook page or the Project Backpack Newberry Curtis Facebook page. Children in area school districts that are in need and qualify for the program have students available to pick out their items later this summer in time for the new school year. Feeding America is making their return to Newberry this week. The latest Feeding America mobile food distribution will take place Thursday at 2 p.m. at the God's Country Cooperative Parish Dunlap Center on M123 in Newberry. The drive-through distribution will take place until supplies last. You have to stay in your vehicle, have space cleared for volunteers to load your food. Don't block mailboxes and driveways. Follow posted directions for a smooth distribution process. Local Feeding America mobile food pantries are free and open to anyone in need. They're sponsored locally by the Newberry Area Ministerial Association. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your news today is brought to you by your local award-winning Newberry News. It's Wednesday. Pick up your latest edition of your award-winning Newberry News. It's available now. Time now to check in with sports this morning. The Tahquamenon Area Youth Football Association is gearing up for the upcoming youth football season. Newberry will again host flag football programs for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders and tackle football programs for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. There'll be a youth football camp and season registration taking place at the Newberry football field next week. The camp and registration runs from 4 until 5:30, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, July 28th, 29th, and 30th. Fee for the youth camp is $25 per child, and season registration for flag football is $25 for the season. Tackle football registration will be $75 for the season. If you want to participate in flag football or youth tackle football this season, now's the time to get registered and come on out for some summer fun with the youth football camp and flag football, tackle football registration next week at the Newberry football field. Questions, contact Coach Zach Klickner at 906-291-1381 or Dan Hardenbrook at 906-450-2750. The Newberry volleyball program has been hard at work this summer getting ready for their upcoming season. Newberry High School Volleyball announcing details for their JV and varsity volleyball tryouts. Will be open to 9th through 12th graders. You must have a current physical completed, turned in order to try out. Those tryouts will be Monday, August 11th. It starts with a parent meeting at 5:30 and tryouts following until 8. They'll continue Tuesday, August 12th and Wednesday, August 13th from 6 until 8 p.m. Get more information on the Newberry Athletics Facebook page, or you can contact Coach Kayla Welker for more information. Another tough loss for the Tigers, make it 8 out of their last 9. They were baseball's best team heading into last week's All-Star break. Tigers haven't been able to turn the corner to start the second half of the season. Pittsburgh Pirates beat them 8-5 at PNC Park last night. Casey Mize got rocked on the mound, 4 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs. Tigers were sloppy with 3 errors leading to runs for the Pirates. Pittsburgh jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Tigers closed on a 3-run homer from Jake Rogers in the 5th inning. Immediately gave up 3 more runs in the 6th. Detroit sits at 60-42 on the season. Your latest local weather forecast for the day today. Slight chance of showers, thunderstorms possible. Mostly cloudy skies becoming partly sunny later in the afternoon. South winds will also be 10 to 15, high temperature pushing 80 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms continuing Thursday, highs in the upper 70s, southwest winds 5 to 10. Friday, mostly sunny, a high in the low 80s. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. That is your news, sports, and weather. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM.
Covering stories that interest the community, readers have come to depend on the Newberry News. Subscribe to the digital edition for early Wednesday morning access or get the print edition delivered to your doorstep. The Newberry News, your news and information leader.